Alright, people. Alright, family. Hope everyone is doing great. If you're not, I relate. But honestly, wishing you the best of luck. And yeah, change isn't going to happen overnight, but love and light to you. Alright, what are we going to talk about today? I'm sure from the title, whatever title I go with, you already know what we're talking about. Brother, family, Davido. If you don't know Davido, then uh, he's an artist, an amazing person. We're all amazing people. All right, so the tweet that I want to really address is something I saw yesterday. Where's the tweet? All right, this is the tweet, guys. A call for attention to, respectfully, to President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, I am calling your attention to the situation in Osun State, Nigeria, as we approach the election. There are growing concerns about tension and the possibility of violence, intimidation, or disruption of the democratic process. Osun people deserve to exercise their constitutional right to vote freely, peacefully, and without fear. Everyone does. Everyone does. Everyone did. Like, we have human rights is God given. Basic human rights to eat, to live, to laugh, to love. I appeal to the United States and the international community to pay close attention to the election and encourage all relevant authorities to ensure that every voter is protected and every vote is respected. In my head, how do I see life? You can't beg for handouts. You can't beg other people to come and sort in-house problems. Okay, like I'm very big on accountability. I feel like our culture, in terms of our current civilization, a lot of people are very known or used to just pointing fingers. I don't know why people don't like accountability. It's like I rather blame myself every time because that's the best way to grow. Every mess up is an opportunity for you to grow, regardless of if you are, I guess, if you are trying to do being innocent or the victim. Like, there's a lesson to be learned every time, and sometimes, honestly, you're just unlucky, and life you know, is life. So to think, with everything everyone has going on personally, to ask again outside for help is, I don't know. That's just me, though. Let me know what you guys think. We do not want bloodshed. We do not want intimidation. We want peace, transparency, and a free and fair election. Everyone does. I don't think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Oshu is any special, or I don't think anyone is more special than the next. So, Nigeria as a whole, from my understanding, is it needs it needs has this problem all around. Okay, I don't think so. One state's problem. I'm talking about the whole country. Again, in-house problem. So before I continue, I'd like to say thank you to Davido for trying to have positive change. I would like to believe he's trying his best, and honestly, that's what matters to me. As far as the next man is trying his best, if he's making a mistake here or there, or at least I think if I want to speak to him, if I think he's doing something wrong, the most important part is to be respectful throughout my communication and being very intentional on respecting their humanity. I don't need to start attacking something that I disagree with. That's my personal problem. There's no need to judge or project. Be respectful, come with questions, and also, again, Davido, I really appreciate you even giving me and the rest of people, you know, the chance to even like talk about this, because if you didn't tweet this, this video wouldn't exist. So I want to apologize if I say anything offensive or inaccurate. And please, 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 please feel free to educate me, correct me, let me know if I'm overstepping my boundaries. I honestly, my goal is to be respectful. I'm not, I really do not, I have zero negative energy when it comes to violence or disrespect. Like I just want to understand, you know, like I don't understand. So please feel free to comment your thoughts or anything. Just I would appreciate if you do a good intention, you know. But if you want to still say it and come across angry or aggressive, sure, go ahead. You know, your voice still deserves to be heard. And that's what matters. I want to hear everyone. I want to listen, because at the end of the day, we all have the choice to decide what we want to absorb or not. All right. So, my intention is to see everyone have the bare minimum to get a better life. You know, I'm ready to. That's how I want to take each day now. You know, because you learn when you see a lot of people die, the rich, the poor. Nobody is. I mean, from what I've seen so far in my life, Michael Jackson, Pele, Maradona, like everyone, we've seen people that we consider great in whatever art we condone as interesting to us personally. You know, for example, LeBron James, I don't know, someone that loves basketball. But everyone is going to die, you know, Muhammad Ali. It's nothing new. I'm not going to cry if I see anybody die. It doesn't make sense to me. Because during the time you're alive, I'm very much aware now to appreciate you as a person and take my time. That's why I'm very big on, again, being respectful and being intentional on treating me how you want to be treated. You know, and I know for sure I don't want to be insulted. I don't want to be dehumanized. I don't want to be, I don't know, disrespected. I just want to be loved. And I want you to be loved too, you know. Like love and hate is a choice and it's very intentional, you know. There is not because you're born into a religion or anything that automatically makes you better than the next person. Let me tell you something. No one, and I promise you, no one is more special than the other. Aside from your experiences, your resources, your environment, aside from being lucky and aside from being unlucky, you are no better than the next man. You are going to eat, you are going to shit. If you don't do any of that, you're considered sick. So tell me what makes you more special because you were born, I don't know, in a home where your family members, everyone is rich, or you're born in a home where everyone is poor. We don't choose where we're born. But when you're alive, we are all the same from the get-go. There is no thoughts, there's nothing under the sun that is new. You know, people can tell you things and people can have you believing in things. Believing is, I believe when someone says I believe, that means I don't know. And that's fine. I'm not here to even argue with anyone about that. But please, please, let's respect each other and our own values. If someone is doing this, leave it to them, okay? So, Davido, OBO, look at this tweet. Okay, you are calling Donald Trump to protect, you are calling someone outside of the country to protect votes in Osun State. But Nigeria has a much bigger problem than just an election. Nigerians are starving everywhere. People are starving everywhere. But I'm trying to shift the focus to Nigeria because you brought attention to Osun. And again, I thank you. You want free election? That's fine. That's the right thing to do. You know, that's how it should go. That's what democracy is, right? However, in my opinion, again, feel free to correct me. This is all new to me. This is my first time here. This is all our first time here. If it isn't your first time here, let me know. If it's your first time here, let me know. But I'm letting you know this is my first time. Real freedom means you don't go to bed hungry, and you don't need a massive farm or a tractor to fix hunger. Maybe you can use. I don't. Again, maybe you're already doing this. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're trying your best. Again, I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm just I'm just doing this with good intention. Just like you. At least that's what I believe you're doing. So you can use your money to teach Nigerian families how to grow their own food in their yard. Even have a portable pot in a pot on their porch. In a small community garden down the street. Basic vegetables, cassava, tomatoes, the absolute minimum to survive. Like to have a chance to be better the next day, to have a chance to, get a better life. Because who doesn't want that? You do not necessarily, we don't even need the government to feed us. We don't need the West or anyone outside of ourselves to save us. We have soil just like everyone else. We have the sun just like everyone else. We have our own hands just like everyone else. So if you can grow a tomato in your backyard, I mean, for the most part, you are free from begging. At least you have a choice, more of a choice. So Davido, and again, this is not just to Davido. This is to everyone else. We are all accountable for ourselves, for our people, for humanity. We are all going to die one day. I am going to die one day too. We all are. It's nothing new. It's nothing surprising. I don't believe in when people are saying gone too soon. How many gone too soons are we going to have? How many gone too soon is it going to take for us to understand that even with death, to me, it's to be celebrated. There's nothing to cry about per se. But to each his own. That is a different topic for another day. But money is useless when you are gone. Look at Nigeria right now. Instead of buying more luxury, whatever, just vain things, vanity, things you can't take with you. Materials, you can't take any of that with you. Like, there is evidence. I don't really think any of us can really argue that. Aside from things we've been told. But I'm asking you, we are talking about things we've seen. That's all I'm discussing. Faith, belief, I'm not arguing that. Sure, to everything you want to say about that, that is fine. I have mine that you're not going to like either. Or no, not even like, but might sound crazy to you, but that's fine. But what am I talking about right now? I want us to focus on things like building small local communities that can feed themselves today. Look around Nigeria right now. Ask yourself. I'm asking myself, what community am I building? What community are we building? What villages will thrive long after any of us are gone? One man having billions, billions, while babies die of starvation is greedy. I mean, I don't know. Just again, enlighten me. I'm open to listening at this point. I'm not here to. I know nothing. That's why I know I don't know anything. I'm learning every day. I'm trying to. I'm willing to learn. But one man having billions while babies die of starvation is greedy and stupid. And there are no excuses in my eyes. The planet, God, the earth gives us everything we need to plant the seeds, teach the people, build the community. I don't know. That is real liberation. And that's something we can actually start now. Tomorrow owes us nothing. But I know, at least I believe, we all want the same things, which is to love, to live, to laugh. We can't be asking for handouts. We can't keep waiting on promises. We can't keep waiting for one man, one person, or God, honestly. Because if I was God, not even if I was God, let's not even do hypotheticals, but I have a question to ask, like, why are we always so stuck on more when there is enough, more than enough in front of us? You have your faith that tells you that God spent 7 days to build everything, right? So why are we still talking about things like heaven and hell? Let's live now, then, leave the rest for later. The time will come. The time always comes. Because time doesn't really pass. We do. Aside from that, I don't know anything else to say. Just this was on my mind. And I sympathize. I don't even know if I'm using the right word, but with everyone that has been unlucky, because I can't look at another person's eyes knowing that to even have bread to survive. Because bro, if you have bread, you can't really die. Bread is all before all this technology. That's what we're using to survive. But let me cut the rambling. For the outro, love and liberation to all prophets. DBD out. Smiling through the pain, smiling through it all, even when it rains, when the sun shines. Just change can't happen overnight.